Welcome to the Midsters Podcast, your podcast for inspiration on being bold and saying yes to making the most out of your midlife. Jay, it's so exciting to have you here. I'm more excited about me being here, to be honest. But we're in the Galápagos Islands.
We're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, literally in 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador.
Thank you for inviting us, by the way. It has been absolutely incredible. And I've gotten to know you over the last decade or so, and it's been so enriching.
Same thing.
Leslie Ann as well. For listeners, I'd love you to introduce yourself, who you are, where you came from, and why you're here.
So I'm Jay Fleming, obviously, from Annapolis, Maryland, and I'm a professional photographer. I've been working as a freelance photographer, doing workshops, making books, doing prints, installations at businesses and homes. I've been doing that for, I would say, 11 years now, full time. And so my passion for photography first started when I was 13. My dad was a professional photographer. He worked for National Geographic for 25 years. I basically picked up a camera that was on a shelf in the basement and took an interest in it. And this was back when it was 35 millimeter film. And I started shooting what I was interested in, which is where my mom comes into play. My mom is a scientist, you could say, who works for Maryland Department of Natural Resources. She got me involved with all kinds of programs with fish, crabs, and everything on the Chesapeake Bay. So I began shooting what I was interested in, which was basically people interacting with the water and the environment. And that led me to where I am today.
And she helped nurture that passion, it sounds
Definitely. My mom always tells stories about kind of complaining about having to, get up early, like at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was in high school, because I wanted her to take me to take pictures somewhere, like get up and catch the sunrise. So I've been doing the same thing for 25 plus years.
I mean, you studied photography at school, right?
No.
No, I thought you did.
No, I didn't. I took an intro to photography course and then an AP photography course. My photography teacher in high school actually accused me of plagiarism.
Oh, you're kidding.
For turning in pictures that I took. My mom would tell you all about it. She was so mad.
Because you were so good.
Because, I guess. But I was a kid, and they were like, there's no way a kid could take this.
Oh, my God.
And we had the original slides. My dad helped me a lot, but we had the original slides, and the slide had my name on it. But they thought it was just taking somebody else's work.
Well, and here you are.
And so that I was like, I don't need this. I took an AP art class my senior year of high school. So I passed that. I got a 5 on the AP exam, and I didn't need to take any art classes in college. So I first started as a biology major, which, that's my other interest.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But I realized I didn't want to be in bio with all the pre-meds. I was more interested in having the full college experience. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then I actually ended up winning the senior art award, which really annoyed a lot of the art majors at St. Mary's College.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well,
and then I just pursued it on my own.
Yeah. It's the passion. You have passion, drive, and I've always said you have incredible grit.
Yeah. I mean, I've always,
And incredible talent.
Yeah, skill.
And you just have to go out and do it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You just have to go do it. I don't when I get up in the mornings to shoot pictures, a lot of times I don't need to go out. I don't need to take these pictures. Like with my books, Working the Water and Island Life, nobody was forcing me to do that but myself. And it's hard when you're the only one forcing yourself to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to hop on a boat with a bunch of, crusty watermen. That's,
It's fun.
You have to be very disciplined and very motivated.
But that's where love of the subject comes in.
Exactly.
You really love what you're doing. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
One of the things I think about that's very interesting and compelling about your work, and I'd like you to talk a little bit about the 2 books you put together, because I think they exemplify this, is you have a real love for your subject, not just for the art of photography and the interest in travel, but you love the Chesapeake Bay. You love the people there. You love the culture there. And you've really done a lot through your photography workshops to actually help support that culture.
Absolutely.
Relationships.
Which resulted in your book. So
yeah,
how did you get down that path?
I mean, first of all, I always tell people, shoot what you love, shoot what you're passionate about, and that'll show through your pictures, because you're going to be more interested in your subject if you're, dedicating the time to properly cover it. So I've obviously covered seafood and fisheries on the Chesapeake Bay and the environment. That's what I grew up passionate about.
So do you find any barriers in leading you to where you are now? And if you did,
Absolutely.
how'd you overcome those?
I mean, gaining access to all these subjects is incredibly difficult. So it's hard to get access to things that people are naturally guarded about. Fishermen, not just watermen who are making a living from harvesting seafood, but, sport fishermen, everybody's very protective about their spots. They don't necessarily want other people to know what they're catching, where they're catching it. So, there's a lot of apprehension in them letting a photographer who's obviously going to share the pictures come out on their boat and document what they're doing.
And I suppose there's also a natural reluctance to open themselves up when they don't know what your ultimate product is going to be and how it's going to represent them.
Exactly. I mean, some of these fishermen have accused me of being a spy for the DNR, undercover police. Like, that could not be more far from the truth.
No,
I'm literally trying to document something that's going away on the bay.
your relationship is a relationship of love, though.
Yeah.
Of everything
Passion.
around you and passion.
Absolutely. And it turned into more than just documenting it for the sake of documenting what people were doing. It turned into documenting stuff to preserve history. Because on the Chesapeake Bay, where I live, so many of these fisheries are going away, whether it's for economic, environmental, or just people are just getting out of it.
And that's what led to your 2 books, which are
Yes.
Working Water.
Correct. Work in the Water was published in 2016. Work in the Water is what I would describe as a photographic narrative of the Chesapeake Bay seafood industry from Havre de Grace, Maryland, at the top of the bay, all the way down to Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads area. So covering all the different fisheries, the people, the process, and the product of what is happening on the bay.
Your images in that book are unbelievable.
They're short.
And the way you talk about the waterman and life on the water.
Yeah. And, with that book, sadly, a lot of those boats, the people, and some of the businesses are gone too. So that reinforced how important the photography was.
And then you came up with the second book a few years later.
The second book I published 5 years later in the fall of 2021. My books always come out before Christmas because that's when people are buying books. And, I have a product that you can't live without a book, but you want it, and it's an incredible gift. So I always have the books come out before Christmas. So Island Life came out in early November 2021. It's a book all about Smith Island and Tangier Island, which are the 2 last inhabited, waterlocked, I would say, offshore islands in the Chesapeake Bay. So there's other islands like Kent Island or Hooper's Island,
Right.
other islands that have a road to them.
Mhm.
Smith Island and Tangier Island don't have a road to them. You have to get there by boat, by helicopter, or by plane.
And we've gone, Marianne and I, with you to both Smith and Tangier Island.
Yeah. And a lot of other islands.
All the others.
Yeah.
But Smith and Tangier Island in particular, those were incredible experiences.
Truly special places. And that's where the workshops really first started, to evolve, other than that day trip that we
Right.
did in 2014. But you approached me in 2015 about doing a trip with your friend Gigi.
Right.
And Marianne's like, you want to do a workshop? I'm like, I don't know what a workshop is, but sure, we'll do a workshop. And at that point, I was like I was still working for the government. I worked for the state of Maryland doing seafood marketing. I was making like $15 an hour, and I was just eager to jump on any opportunity that came up. And I asked Marianne, I said, where do you want to go? And she said, I don't care. Where do you want to go? I was like, all right, this is perfect. We'll go to Smith Island, because Smith Island had the wildlife with the nesting pelicans. It had the watermen, and it had the infrastructure with the community there, where I could involve the community in the workshop and make it benefit them economically too.
Well, I think one of the things that you do, and your workshops are amazing. People should look them up. A lot of them are on the Eastern Shore, but you do go to Canada as well. And I love the fact that it's not just instruction. I mean, I like photography, but as you know, I don't dive into it the same way. I like how it's opened my lens. You've done that for me, but it's a cultural experience. You're not just going to New York City. Not that that's not a cultural experience, but you get you literally put yourself in an environment that is transforming for me.
It's fully immersive. And the workshops, put people in these positions to learn about the culture, learn about the photography, and also the environment of where they are.
And there's another element too, which is, you said a second ago, you were eager to jump on every opportunity that there is. I think that enthusiasm translates to the people that you take on the workshops, to your clients, because you can't come away from a Jay Fleming workshop without feeling eager for the next opportunity to push the skills, and not just the skills, but the seeing part of it, like going to a new place and experiencing it. You make that like infectious.
Yeah.
He's got so much heart.
Yeah, really.
There's so many people who have been, they start with coming on the Annapolis workshop, which is the 1-day trip, and then they go to the Smith Island or the Hoopers, and then they end up going to Maine with me or Canada. So it is kind of like stepping stones.
Well, I did tell you I went on your workshop. People can find you at Jay Fleming Photography, but also Jay Fleming Workshops, I believe. They can find you there.
Not hard to find.
It was all sold out.
Yeah, they're all sold out.
So he's going to have to do a particular one.
There's only one Jay.
Well, you have done special ones with us. We went duck hunting with you. You
us
up with friends.
And, people like you all, I kind of create custom workshops for.
Right.
I want to ask you another question, sort of shifting slightly, because you just said you do a lot of different workshops. People come back. You're a lot of repeat customers. Most of your clientele, I think, is midlife. People.
That's fair, and particularly women.
Do you see over time in the repeated contact with the same clients that are coming out to these workshops, do you see growth in the people that?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
I mean, people come out, after they've gotten their first camera as a Christmas gift, or, just got a camera after COVID and wanted a new hobby and wanted an excuse to get outside. And they come out on one trip and then they just keep coming back and back and back. And perfect example of this is Marie Stewart, who's a great friend of all of ours. And she's been on your trip. She's been on pretty much every one of my trips. If I had a passport to stamp for my workshop, she would have one with a lot of stamps. But Marie came out and she had a camera that she pulled out of like a closet. And, it's evolved to her making her own prints as gifts. I don't think she sells her work, but she makes, gifts for people. She, now she's evolved to like have the same gear that I have. So she's like stepped up and up and up, and it's given her.
She does beautiful work. We keep trying to talk her into doing a show because her stuff's phenomenal.
The photography for people like Marie, it's a great excuse to go to all these different places.
There's something beyond going to the different places too, which I found. I'm curious if you've had other folks respond to this. I know you found this too, Marianne. We've gone on so many trips with so many of the same people. So here we are on the Galápagos, and several of the people on this trip are folks that we've gone with on other Jay Fleming photography. It creates a community.
Absolutely.
Which is really quite lovely.
Yeah, it creates these friendships where people, will hang out on their own independent of the photography workshop. And it just brings together like-minded people.
One of the things that going back to your question as far as transforming and setting aside the photography piece, one thing that I've learned from you, I've never met a stranger in general anyway. I'm pretty personable, but you have a lot of intentional conversations with the people that we meet in the different environments. Like, you spend time to get to know them. I mean, you pause, you don't talk so much, you ask questions, but you really listen to their stories. But it really is intentional conversations and intentional listening. And I've learned that from you. So now when I go to a strange place and I want to take a camera, I take your same approach, and I get so much from it, more than the photography. But it's a connection.
Well, the camera's just another excuse to be inquisitive and curious.
It is. And you do a great job doing that.
Yeah.
What do you think your next adventure will be?
Well, my next adventure after the Galapagos, Shelby, my girlfriend, and I were heading to Peru for a couple weeks to just travel on our own and obviously shoot pictures, because I can't go anywhere and not shoot pictures. It's kind of
or take her now.
It turns into a problem sometimes. I don't sleep in. I get up early every morning to catch the best light.
That is also infectious. I mean, I'm clearly not the photographer you are, but having done photography now for 10 years, really, with you. I have learned to always bring my camera, and it gets me into trouble with my family because they're like, "Can we not stop take pictures right now?" So I had to get a smaller, more portable camera that I can discreetly take pictures with and not piss them off.
Yeah.
And we do have our spouses here now. Yours has jumped in. Mine is like, okay, I get it. The workshop, it's the work. And like
it's
5
more like
p.m. in
work.
the morning. No, thank you.
My husband is actually finally, after getting him out here on a workshop with you, he's like, okay, I can see this photography stuff is pretty interesting.
He just needed to take that first step.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're listening to this and you don't like waking up early, I don't recommend coming out of my workshops.
Right. I would agree.
That's fine.
I mean, if you love the light.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's all about the good light. It's all about early mornings. It's all about, making the most of the day. On my workshops, we do more before 9 o'clock than most people do all day.
Yeah.
And you do the cooking a lot.
Sometimes. Not on Smith Island.
Not all the time, but yes.
That early
Love that.
morning, getting up early. I mean, that's, again, like when you're older and you don't have the midlife, a lot of people in midlife have the ability to take a real vacation and do something interesting, like go on a workshop and not worry about, I have to get home and get to work. And so you can take a couple of days where you're out of your usual routine and get up at 4 a.m. And it is 4 a.m. when you're traveling with Chad.
Yeah. Usually not earlier, but
man, that is special time.
definitely. That's the best time of the day.
Yeah.
When the world's waking up.
There's a meditation piece to it for me.
Absolutely.
It's getting up in the stillness when there's nothing else awake. Maybe some animals.
So what's been your favorite, I know what you're going to say. What's been your favorite experience on this trip to the Galápagos?
On this trip,
It's got to be the sharks.
the sharks were fun. I really enjoyed chasing the sharks around. I got pretty startled today by a shark. I went down and dove in the middle of a giant bait ball with millions and millions of fish, and I didn't see it, but in the bait ball was about a probably 6 to 7 foot black-tip shark, and I just went full speed ahead down right towards the shark, and he shot off, and I shot up.
I saw you.
Yeah, it was captured on video.
Yeah, I think I got it on video.
That was pretty cool, but for me, I've done this trip 4 times. This is my 4th year, and I really had one goal on this trip, and that was to get a picture of an iguana feeding underwater. One of the marine iguanas that's endemic to the Galapagos. You can't really find them anywhere else in the world but here. And
Find it?
I found like 10 of them. And on the previous trips, I'd only seen one. So to me, that was pretty special being able to photograph that.
We saw that bat under, what is it?
Sea robin.
Sea robin. That was unusual.
Sea robin was unusual. We saw lobster. I mean, to me, overall, if I had to pick one favorite thing, the snorkeling, hands down, was my favorite experience on this trip.
Mine too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a whole new world. It opened up my entire lens.
definitely.
So maybe we'll have to get you to do some underwater photography workshops.
Yeah, not in the Chesapeake Bay.
Would you?
If you started in the Chesapeake Bay, you would hate underwater photography because normally you can't see past, your hands.
All right. Would you consider coming back out with a bunch of midsters?
I mean, any excuse to come back here.
Very good.
Well, pay attention, listeners. There may be more on that topic soon.
Well,
Can you tell people?
what if I ask you what your favorite experience was?
Snorkeling would be one for sure. And just seeing a part of the world that is so still that there's no rush. We have to stop for them. You look at the iguanas, they're in their own world. They're not preoccupied with anything that's around them except for what they're doing. And it really does teach you to be patient. I mean, think about those iguanas and turtles. You're just standing there waiting for them. You can't wait for a car to move over. I mean, there is a patience to it that I think is just wonderful. Slow down.
For me, it was the snorkeling with the giant turtles, and I was swimming over one for quite a while. He kept looking up, like as if to check to see if I was there.
Like, what are you
I
doing?
may be projecting onto him, but that's certainly what it seemed like. And I thought, wow, this is so amazing. How special it is to have a place like this where the emphasis is placed on preserving it,
Yeah.
protecting it, because it is a treasure.
Not about how it can be exploited and how, condos can be built. I mean, we saw one building or 2 buildings. One was abandoned, but we saw 2 buildings throughout the entire 8 days that we were on the cruise.
It's just extraordinary.
I like that there's no recreational boats all around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this tourism in the Galapagos is limited to, I think there's 160 boats in the whole archipelago of islands.
The
So
way of life here is just a lesson in general.
Yeah.
It really is.
I wish I could move here, but I can.
Don't move. Can you tell people where to find you for your workshops, but also look at your photography?
You can find my main portfolio work is on my website, jflemingphotography.com. It's Fleming with one M.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Social media is a great way to keep track of what I'm currently doing. It's hard to keep up with all that, but I regularly try to post what I'm doing, and I post opportunities to get out on these workshops. Sometimes I do pop-up workshops at home where if I'm home and, the weather's like perfect, I see there's a windless day where we can go out on the bay, like going to the Bay Bridge or somewhere local around Annapolis. I'll post those opportunities on my website.
Okay.
Or Facebook, excuse me. But they usually sell out within like 20 minutes.
Oh, I know.
I did one before I left, and it was like, there was no wind. It was a beautiful day, beautiful January day, but it was going to be like 23 degrees. I was like, people probably won't want to come out. They'll get deterred by the temperature. 29 minutes, that trip sold out.
Wow.
5 people. So I carry a limited number of passengers.
Right.
With my captain's license, I can carry 6, but I like to carry 5. It's more comfortable on my boat, and it's better to give each photographer more one-on-one attention.
And here's something, honestly, we should emphasize is one of the things that makes your workshop special, beyond the relationships you develop with people, which allow us to get really up close to people working and doing, fishing, which other photographers don't necessarily have those relationships and can't really get that intimate shot.
Yeah.
Also, you have a boat.
Yeah,
And
the boat is
key.
the access is the key ingredient.
Yeah.
That is what drew me to you. I mean, when I was asking the watermen, I was like, do you know anyone that can take me on the water to shoot that perspective? And they gave me your name.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how it started.
that is exactly what I was looking
I really should thank that guy, George.
Yes.
You were like wandering around the wharf at Kent Narrows,
I was.
desperate to take a picture, and she came upon my friend George Thomas, and I had just taken pictures of him and his dad for my book, Working the Water.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, yeah, look up Jay Fleming. And she called me. Like you said, you've never not met a friend.
It's true. It's true. So for our listeners, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that's great. But you should really go to the YouTube version. And because following this podcast, and also in this podcast, you'll see some lovely images that Jay has taken on this Galapagos trip. And I think it'll be a real delight.
We should write an article and pop it on AmericanMinsters.com. And we can have and the links for our listeners.
We've got great pictures, not only that we've all taken, but of the group.
Yes.
People having fun and enjoying the trip. I mean, the boat that we're on is an incredible 105-foot catamaran.
The boat's
designed for 16 passengers. There's a crew of 9, so we have people who, we'll go out in the morning to shoot pictures, and we'll come back, and our beds will be made.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just kind of amazing.
Yeah, I don't want to get used to that because it's not going to happen at home.
But you've also taken a lot of good pictures of the participants. I know you took some pictures of me, and I cannot not talk about Shelby, who also has been in the water videoing, taking pictures. What a talent she is.
I know. I think I'm training her too well.
Well, I'm very appreciative of both
She's
of you.
filming now.
She
You just can't
is.
see her.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you, Shelby.